Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome to the next installment of my top 20 for 2020. Now, this is something I love, which is 80 slashers. So happy that I picked it. Couldn't have come at a better time, and I actually don't have the means to make 30-minute videos, so I'm going to have to get into these and spend as little time as possible talking about them. So, getting right into it. Coming in at number 20 is Night School. This got an honorable mention in my last top 25, I believe, and that was because I didn't own it, and I only show things that I own. I absolutely love Night School. I've loved it ever since I was younger. This was when I used to rent all the time, and I always thought it had a really, really cool premise for an 80s slasher. So that is Night School. Definitely recommend picking that up. Coming in at number 19, this may surprise some people, Prom Night. This is a movie that people either seem to love or hate. I've always liked it ever since I was younger, but the thing to put me over the top, because I don't believe this made my top 25 list if I remember correctly, is this Synapse Blu-ray. It's incredible. One of the problems I always had with Prom Night is that it was too dark, way too dark. It's hard to see a lot of the things that go on. This solves all the problems, and definitely made my enjoyment of the movie a lot better. So, number 19, Prom Night. Number 18, my favorite Chuck Norris movie, along with The Octagon, Silent Rage. This is a slasher. This is the only movie, and I've said this before, to give me nightmares well into my 30s. I don't know why. It's just something about John Kirby. There's something about him that just is very unsettling for me. And this is a great, great transfer. And there you have it. Number 18 is Silent Rage. Number 17 is Superstition. Now, Superstition is kind of an oddball. I know it probably made my honorable mentions because I didn't own it. Then my buddy Joe surprised me and made me a copy of this film. When the Scream Factory edition of it came out, I had to pick it up. It was a must. And I will say, the transfer was better on the one that Joe made for me. So, yeah, there's a lot of grain in this one, but this is such a great, great supernatural slasher movie. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Coming in at number 16 is Final Exam. There's something about this movie that has always endeared me to it. I've watched it ever since I was younger, and even though you can see the face of the killer, and you can see him pretty much earlier into the movie, he doesn't say anything, and it's a complete mystery why he's there, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. So Final Exam comes in at number 16. Great movie. Coming in at number 15, some people may not consider a slasher movie, but I do. And that is Fade to Black. Another one of my all-time favorites from when I was younger. I could always identify with Eric Benford. I always thought he was a great character, and Dennis Christopher played him so, so well. In my opinion, this is definitely a slasher, and it's one of my all-time favorites. We definitely need a Scream Factory of Fade to Black, no doubt in my mind. That's number 15, Fade to Black. Plus, I do believe it was Tim Thomerson's first role in Fade to Black. Coming up next, number 14, is my favorite Fulci movie. Some people consider it a zombie movie. Some people consider it a slasher. I myself consider it a slasher, and as part of the Gates of Hell trilogy, it is House by the Cemetery. This movie, I've probably seen about 15 or 20 times in my life. I like it better every time I watch it. If I do a top 22 years from now, who knows? It may have cracked the top 10. But this is just a super cool movie, and I'm probably going to have to get the Blue Underground lenticular for this one. But yeah. House by the Cemetery. Coming in at number 13, shouldn't be that much of a surprise. It is Slaughter High. Marty is one of my favorite slashers. While the movie is kind of goofy in parts, there's something about it that I just love. It screams 80s. The theme song gets in your head and you kind of can't shake it. It's just an awesome movie. The kills are inventive. I just love it. That's Slaughter High. Coming in at number 12, Stage Fright. Stage Fright is a fantastic slasher. I love the atmosphere in it. I love how they're putting on a play. I like the costume of the killer, wearing a owl costume, an owl head, I believe. It's just fantastic. It's very suspenseful, and the kills are downright brutal. Definitely a great slasher. That's number 12, Stage Fright. Number 11, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I just reviewed this for my 12 Days of Christmas. I finally got to take on the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise along with the remake itself, and this movie was so cool. I had the big box of this when I was younger. Unfortunately, I sold it because I'm a moron, but Billy is an awesome killer, and this goes way much deeper than a typical slasher movie, in my opinion. You know, there is mental illness, there is trauma as a child. It's not just a slasher movie, it's a great, great film. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now for our top 10. Coming in at 10, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, granted, Freddy is not my favorite slasher. He is a slasher, he's a supernatural slasher. But this movie is so creepy, it's just fantastic. Wes Craven broke the mold with this one. This was definitely, if not his best movie, definitely in the top 2. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Back when Freddy was creepy. Coming in at number 9, The Prowler. The kills in this movie are so brutal. It's so bloody. And I love the killer's wardrobe being a World War II uniform. It's just fantastic. A lot of people consider it boring. I don't. A lot of people think it has no plot. It doesn't have much of a plot, but oh well. I just love it. It's a great film, and so happy that I own it. Maybe it'll get the treatment from Blue Underground, because it definitely deserves it. And that's The Prowler, coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, Madman Mars. Yet another film I grew up watching. I watched it all the time. I love the music in it. I love the song that's composed for it. It's just eerie, but a lot of fun. Quick funny story. I actually didn't know that this had reversible artwork. I always kept it on the other one, which is right here. And I was talking to Joe the other day, and we were talking about slasher movies and talking about Madman. And since I had it up here, I picked it up and looked at it, and darn if it doesn't have a reversible cover, which is exactly what this is. So, yeah, I guess I was a little slow on that one, but this is a great addition. If you like Madman, pick up the Vinegar Syndrome release of it. It's filled with extras. Awesome, awesome movie. Coming in at number 9, number 7. And this may surprise some people. This was the only copy that I could find of mine. I had 3 copies of My Bloody Valentine, and this was the quickest one I could find. I love My Bloody Valentine. It's so good, so atmospheric. I do think there is a pacing problem with this one, but the kills are so great. and the miner is possibly one of the best killers ever put to film. I absolutely love it. And that is My Bloody Valentine, coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, The Burning. Now, I know this is going to be top 5 material, probably top 3 material for most people. I love The Burning. It's a movie that I had trouble with for a lot of my life because I love Friday the 13th. I love the franchise so much. And I always thought that people kind of sometimes ragged on Friday the 13th because of The Burning. Like, how come this didn't get a franchise but Friday the 13th did? I can see that now. This is the story of Cropsey, and no one has ever done it better, and probably never will. So, The Burning has great kills, and it's just a fantastic movie. I love it. Now we have our top 5. Coming in at number 5, Terror Train. I love this movie. I'm definitely going to do a My Horror Story about this one because this has a kind of an interesting story behind it. But I've watched this so many times, and I love it every time. Even the David Copperfield stuff, which most people find downright cheesy, I love it, and it's just a great movie. So that is Terror Train, coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, Halloween 2. This was the first Halloween movie I saw. And yes, it has some pacing problems, in my opinion. But I do love it. I think the kills are brutal. And it's just a fantastic, fantastic movie. That's Halloween 2. Coming in at number 3, Happy Birthday to Me. Most of you probably aren't surprised to see this so high on my list. This was the first horror movie and the first slasher movie I've ever seen. The legit horror movie. And, you know, it has a lot of sentimental value to me. And I just think it's a great, great film. And a great slasher. So awesome. And this is, Mill Creek just did a tremendous job with the transfer. So, Happy Birthday to Me, coming in at number 3. Number 2, good old Maniac. This was not in my top 25. I didn't consider this a slasher movie. I considered this a character study because I thought this movie is brilliant. It's a masterpiece. And I thought slasher movie kind of degraded it by saying it was a slasher film. Don't ask. After several conversations with a lot of close friends, it is a slasher movie, and it's one of my all-time favorites. Maniac comes in at number 2. This film is great. Definitely need to upgrade this one. And coming in at number 1, shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that knows me. The second legit horror movie I saw, and my favorite in the franchise, Friday the 13th Part 2. Baghead Jason is the man, and I just love this movie. I love the final girl. I think Ginny is incredible. The kills are great. It's very mean-spirited, and it's just overall a fantastic film. I don't know what to say about this that I haven't already said. This is my third favorite horror movie of all time. Definitely my favorite 80s slasher. So that is Friday the 13th, Part 2. Baghead Jason is awesome. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope I wasn't too long-winded on this one. Definitely get your top 20s up. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.